we have less than a week until the Star Wars Kenobi series comes out on Disney Plus. And while I'm not that excited for anything Disney does, I mean, it's Ewan McGregor, so you got to give Obi-Wan some respect, right? So we're gonna watch this video. We're gonna see that one of these things is not like the other. So I guess that's the best way to put it.
Well, I don't know if I'm getting into spoiler territory. Here. Can I say anything that possibly gets into spoiler territory here? Well, I don't know if I'm getting into spoiler territory.
Or restart
here.
that because I'm a
Can I say
fucking
anything
idiot?
that possibly gets into spoiler territory here?
I'm Ewan McGregor.
My name is Hayden Christensen.
My name is Moses Ingram.
I play Anakin Skywalker.
I play Reva Savander.
And I play the part of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Jedi Knight, never a Jedi Master, turned Darth Vader, Lord of the Sith.
I am an
Lord of the Sith, never Master of the Sith, never a,
Inquisitor. I would call myself the Inquisitor, actually.
A very complex character. He has a strong sort of desire for power.
Fierce, fiercely intelligent, and very quick on her feet. Someone who is always listening and intent on doing what she thinks is right, even if no one else agrees with what it is that she's doing.
There's also a lot of inner conflict, and there's certainly an inner sort of struggle of identity.
How many sand people have you killed, Anakin? How many younglings? I would say that's a little conflict of identity.
I was living in Vancouver at the time. I was renting an apartment with a good friend of mine.
Fucking
he
Canadians.
knew that I was up for this role and I was going to be finding out soon. I got the phone call when I was still in bed, actually. I remember coming out of the room just like an ear-to-ear grin on my face, and my roommate looked at me and he was like, is that smile what I think it is? And then so I lit up an imaginary lightsaber,
Yes. Which we've all done, right? Who hasn't done that?
And then he ran over to his record player and he had a Star Wars soundtrack, and he put the Star Wars soundtrack on, and then he lit up his imaginary lightsaber, and we had a whole lightsaber battle as we were laughing and jumping all over the couch and apartment.
Fuck yeah.
It was
I mean, who hasn't done that?
very exciting time for me.
Yeah, it was an amazing time. I mean, I'd been working with Danny Boyle, and I did a film with Greenaway, and I'd done a certain amount of work in Britain, and I very much felt like I was in a moment in British cinema, and Star Wars was definitely
Good thing you hopped the fuck out of there, right?
I did a lot of thinking about it, a lot of research, a lot of speaking to people I knew and trusted about their opinion about it, whether it was the right thing to do or not. And then the closer I got
Does
to
anybody
being
even
cast as
remember Jar
Obi-Wan,
Jar
the more
Binks?
I wanted to do it. I was such a great fan of the original films as
Makes
a
it
child,
so
and I
forgettable.
felt like I just wanted to be part of that. If I could be part of that, then I would want to do that.
I don't think I said anything, actually. It was like one intense, really long week of auditioning, and then we got to that final Zoom, and I thought I was gonna have to do something else, and Deb told me I had the job, and honestly, I think I probably was like, okay, thanks. I think that's how it went.
By the time I actually
That's it? That's it? Somebody calls me up, they're like, hey, guess what? You're gonna be in the next Star Wars. I'm like, fuck yeah! They're like, calm down, you're just gonna be a Tusken Raider that gets slaughtered in the sand. I'm like, I don't give a fuck! Don't be retarded. Come on. It's fucking Star Wars.
I was stoked. It was a great experience. It was different from anything I'd done in terms of its
Fucking
scale.
Jar Jar,
I
man.
got to work with Liam Neeson and Ahmed Best and Natalie Portman, and I had a great experience, making those films. On the original films, it was the technology, the fact that we did so much of the filming on blue screen and green screen. There were certain challenges with that, the fact that there was so little of the environment there. In episode 2, for instance, I spent a lot of time with some tall alien people who weren't really there, so that was challenging as for an actor to make that all realistic.
Well, this one required a lot more athleticism than anything else. We did about 4 months of training before we ever even hit the stage to start acting, and so it just took a lot.
You better be talking about anything else you've done, alright? Because I guarantee you that Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen had to go through a fucking hell few months of training to get good with those lightsabers and proficient. And Ewan McGregor was just better. That's why Hayden Christensen goes, I hate you!
To pull everything together in that way?
I always had a tough time not making the lightsaber sound effects when I was doing my...
See, I would be happy just to be that dude that gets his fucking head chopped off. That would be lit.
my lightsaber scenes. Just because you're sort of, it's like muscle memory from being a kid.
I always have the acting challenge of like playing a younger Alec Guinness, and that's my great joy in doing this, is to feel like I'm moving towards becoming Alec Guinness, you know. That's always what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Well, it's difficult to pinpoint a favorite scene. Some of them are so long ago.
Oh, it's really hard to pick just one. There were a number of scenes that were very memorable.
Working with Hayden again was a great pleasure. To be coming back with him after so long, since we, 17 years after we finished episode 3, was great.
The first scene that we...
Yeah, I've heard in interviews that Ewan McGregor never watched episode 3 after he filmed it. And so he would never get the, really get the reference when somebody would come up to him and be like, I have the high ground. I mean, these are just fucking shit I hear online, but I could see it though. I mean, there's a lot of dialogue in that movie. And the original cut was almost damn near 4 hours long. I mean, you can only imagine what they actually cut out of the show.
Shot on the very first day. It was stepping off of our ship, and I remember thinking to myself, "Oh my God, this is
Star Wars
huge."
Rebels.
And they were like air
I never watched
cannons
that.
and so many people, and I think my
Get
first
into it.
thought was, "Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up."
At the
Good
end
thought.
of episode 3, when the Darth Vader helmet comes down and he's officially encapsulated in the suit, that for me was a very big moment, and I remember that very well.
Our costume designer, Sudarat, did such an amazing job building that costume. It sort of just lends itself to making you stand in a certain way. I felt bold, and I felt strong, and I felt like
I just want to pause right here. I hate the idea of the Inquisitors. Like, it's just so dumb. If you're here to erase all of the Jedi, why would you just be like, let's recruit some of these Jedi and turn them into our loyal... How do you know they're going to stay loyal? How do you know they're not just going to bolt at the first sign? How do you know they're not going to cause some mayhem on the inside? I mean, Luke and Han took a couple of fucking stormtrooper outfits and freed a princess. You think a few Jedi can't pretend to be fucking Inquisitors and fuck over the dark side? Come on. You could have got, like, fucking 5, 8, 10 Jedi Knights, maybe a Jedi Master in there. Obviously, we know Anakin's not in there if that's the case. You could have them just be like, yeah, we'll join you. And then, who knows, maybe one of them gets slaughtered in the trials to become an Inquisitor. But then you have, 4, 7, 9 fucking Jedi on the inside of the Empire, where they could easily just be like, alright, we're on this ship, let's take this ship over and fly it straight into the Death Star. Or, God, I fucking hate Disney. Disney just doesn't know the Star Wars universe enough, because if you had what Admiral Pinkhair does at the end of, what is it, The Last Jedi, I believe? God, I hate that movie. When she just turns the ship around and, light speeds it through the other, the fleet plus Snoke's capital flagship. Are you telling me that of all these selfless Jedi who spend their lives just trying to make change for the better in the galaxy wouldn't be like, you know what? Fuck this. And they wouldn't just fly a few fucking capital class ships through the... Yeah, no way. No fucking way would that happen.
leader that Reva is.
At the time,
They never would have sent in the whole resistance to destroy the Death Star. They would have sent in like 2 capital ships and just been like, yeah, just fly light speed through it. Crisscross. You guys will die. It'll be alright. Or you can jump out in escape pods. But if you die, you'll be heroes to the Republic.
felt like sort of completion for my journey with the character. I was playing Anakin, and then when he becomes Darth Vader, that's sort of, right? But now I've gotten to come back and continue my journey with the character. But at the time, it signified that my job was done. Little did I know.
Probably the biggest thing is that it already has millions of fans. And I think the thing that's daunting is that whether people like it or not, I'm absolutely gonna hear about it, and that's
Absolutely.
scary.
I don't know that it's changed my view of Star Wars.
You know why you're gonna hear about it, Reva? Is because we all fucking know this is a bait and switch, and you are gonna be the hero of this series.
And this character, as much as it's just sort of further informed the story and these characters. And that was kind of what was really appealing about it for me, was that we were given the opportunity to sort of flesh these characters out just a little bit more.
It's also super exciting to be joining a project in which I don't have the same things to live up to as Ewan and Hayden do. I am coming in as somebody who's never been here before, and so nobody is looking for me to be something specific. And
I'm not looking for you to be in this show. I'm looking for Kenobi. I'm not even looking for Hayden Christensen to be in this show. Like, I don't want Obi-Wan and Vader to fight. As cool as that will fucking look, I'm sure. I just don't want it to happen. Because it might look cool as shit, but it is going to destroy the original trilogy.
I sort of have free reign to be who I think Reva is.
Getting to come back
Reva.
and play
Sorry,
Darth
not
Vader,
Reva.
and this sort of the notion that we were going to get a glimpse into the experience of being Darth Vader.
Which is cool. If you want Darth Vader in this show, just don't have him meet up with Obi. He can be like trying to track Obi-Wan to figure out where he went, what he did after he killed Anakin. You know, because he's no longer Anakin. He's now Darth Vader, Lord of the Sith. You could have that in his inner turmoil of I believe in the extended editions, or maybe it was just something that George Lucas cut. When Vader's getting the mask put on his face, you can see his mouth like moving up and down. And I don't remember where I heard this. Might just be some Reddit thread. Hayden Christensen was supposed to be mouthing, "I'm sorry, Padme, help me." So it could be just him losing Anakin to that final bout inside of himself, to where he finally becomes Lord Vader. We don't need to see these two fight each other. It's gonna be cool. I'm sure their lightsaber duel is gonna be fucking awesome. It's just not necessary.
I thought that had a tremendous...
Like there's so much shit. Look at this. Boba Fett should have left Tatooine the moment he got Slave 1 back. He should have been like, alright, fuck this sand planet, I'm out. I'm gonna go find some bounty jobs. I'm gonna go do something. No. Obi-Wan should keep his ass on Tatooine. He should be like, alright, I'm gonna watch over Luke. I'm gonna make sure Uncle Owen's farm is alright. And it's gonna be good. I'll keep the Tusken Raiders away. I'll make sure no Sand Crate dragons come up. This motherfucker could be out there fighting Sand Crate dragons, taking on hordes of Tusken Raiders. There's so much shit Obi-Wan could do on Tatooine. He could be dealing with the Jabba the Hutt cartel. Like, that would be fucking awesome. Him to be like, Jabba, look, I need you to look the other fucking way for this Luke Skywalker, and I won't be a problem for you. But if you come over here to Uncle Owen's farm and you start causing problems, then I'm going to come here and I'm going to slaughter everybody in this room because the Jedi are no more and I am a guardian now. That would be fucking awesome.
Tremendous amount of value. So it's really just been about further informing these characters. I felt
Which
has
is
been
cool.
sort of very
It's cool.
satisfying.
Further inform them.
I wasn't
Further inform the characters while keeping them on the path that has been laid out by George Lucas.
a big fan of Star Wars before this. I knew
What?
like the cultural pinpoint.
Very satisfying.
You know, I wasn't a big fan of Star Wars before this. I knew like the cultural pinpoint.
What the fuck did... I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of Star Wars. I would love to be in your Star Wars show, though. It sounds great. Let me write your Lord of the Rings TV series, although I've never seen the Peter Jackson movies and I hate the books because I can't read. Or let me develop this Halo TV show. What do you know about Halo? Oh, I've never read a book and I've never played the games, but it'll be great. No.
Points like Vader, Luke, I am your father, Obi-Wan, those things. But
Vader, Luke, I am your father, Obi-Wan, those things?
you know, I wasn't a big fan of Star Wars before this. I knew like the cultural pinpoints like Vader, Luke, I am your father, Obi-Wan, those things.
What does that mean? Vader, Luke, I am your father, Obi-Wan. What are you referencing when they say Vader and Obi-Wan? Are you referencing the characters themselves? Because if you just know their names, that's not good enough. And Luke, I am your father? Who could you even attribute that to if you don't like Star Wars? You're just saying, oh yeah, I know these famous quotes because they're said all the time. Which I don't know who goes around just going, Vader, or Obi-Wan. Nobody. No. If Obi-Wan's most fucking famous quote is, hello there. That's his most favorite quote. Vader's would probably be, Luke, I am your father. But I don't know.
But I think what I've appreciated is the depth of the world that George Lucas built and the escapism it provides so many people and provides myself now. I've been very, very happy to join the universe.
I just want to say this. I love George Lucas and I love the Star Wars. I love Star Wars, the original trilogy. I'm a big fan of the prequels. I get the dialogue and everything's kind of, it's shoddy, but it's fucking Star Wars, man. It's good. At least George Lucas was helming it. It's still what he wanted, what he envisioned. The Clone Wars, I probably watched the first 6, maybe the first 5 seasons. I watched the first 3 episodes of what Disney put out, and then it was Ahsoka and the shaved side head chick, and I was like, I can't do that right now. And I never got back to it. There's way too many other shitty things that I'd watch that I hate myself for watching, but who knows? Maybe I'll finish at some point. Because I hear the end of the Clone Wars, they do something, I don't know. That was weird. I just heard some voices in my living room.
The volume is just an amazing bit of technology. The approach to working in the volume is much different than filming in front of a blue screen or a green screen.
I never had to pretend or imagine where I was. Ewan and Hayden sort of were used to like green screens and tennis balls. I feel really blessed that I could just walk in and be in whatever environment I was in.
You're
that looks
totally
cool
surrounded by it. And it's incredible. You step into the volume and you're in Star Wars.
You can never really see sort of where it
God,
ends
be
because
awesome.
it's so vast. I think that was probably one of my favorite things about working on the series.
It's quite the experience.
At the beginning, when Anakin goes Jedi Knight, never Jedi Master, I wonder if is he referencing the memes? Is Hayden meme based? Is he like, you know what? I get it. Everybody hated me. Alright, I've said this a lot. If Disney is remembered for one thing, it will not be for what good they brought to Star Wars. They will be remembered for bringing Hayden Christensen to light for the Star Wars fan base. Because people fucking hated this guy. They were like, I hate Anakin. He's such a whitey bitch. He sucks. And it's like, that's his fucking character, man. That's his character. And then they saw Star Wars, the sequels that Disney put out, and probably every fucking movie Disney's put out, honestly. And they were like, wow, these are so bad. Can we have Hayden back? I would rather listen to this kid bitch and whine about not getting to fuck Padme all the time. Like, can we have that back? Because at least he's got character development in there.
If I could meet one Star Wars creature, who would it be? Well, I'd like to meet Jar Jar again.
I guess I'm gonna go with Yoda.
Fucking Jar Jar. This guy just said he wants to meet Jar. I have never heard that in my life. I'd like to meet Jar Jar. Who? Misa?
Just to see if I could get some of his wisdom. Maybe
Yoda'd
some of
be
his
awesome.
knowledge might rub off on me.
I loved working with Ahmed Best, who played Jar Jar Binks. Maybe we could bring him back.
That better not be a foreshadow. You better not run into Jar Jar Binks on fucking Nar Shaddaa, which I don't know if they're gonna go to Nar Shaddaa, but I feel like it's kinda what they were hitting at when that video where the chick's running on the rooftops and shit. It looks like Nar Shaddaa. Could not be though. Could be a different fucking scumbucket planet.
I was gonna be finding out soon.
Look, I know this Kenobi series is going to be a problem for canon in the Star Wars universe. Which, when we speak of canon in the Star Wars universe, George Lucas fleshed out his shows, but he didn't never delved super deep into the lore and history of Star Wars. But fans did. Fans went out and they started creating the EU, the Dark Horse comics, all the fucking books, all the little fan films, and George Lucas liked a lot of that shit a lot. He was like, I really, really like these takes and this stuff. So he canonized it, and he was like, a lot of this EU shit and these comics are all canon now, because they stay true to the original trilogy while being completely different. Like, look at KOTOR 1 and 2. Vastly, vastly different premises. You're not learning about the light side and the dark side and them fighting each other. You're learning about the values of the Force, and you're picking up how you would how would you live in a universe with the Force to connect all living beings like that. Would you do good in the world? Would you do evil? Would you take care of yourself? Or what would you do? That is such a staple in the Star Wars universe that Disney just doesn't have. Disney's like, look, bright lights, new characters. Look at all these old references. You remember Obi-Wan? It's like, come on, man. What are we doing here? I really want nothing more than this show to be great. I want it to be an amazing show. When I watched this Vanity Fair article, though, two of these actors liked, I will say at very least, had prior knowledge and liked Star Wars. It sounds like Ewan McGregor was, can't blame him, he's from fucking Britain or the UK or somewhere over on that side of the pond where they do weird shit, alright? But he knew about it. He was like, I like the prequels. No, the trilogy. I like it's so weird that 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 7. That's a fucked up cue, alright? But him saying that he likes that states that he was at least a fan in some point. And Hayden Christensen, he's like, oh, I was just waiting for the call. I was in bed. As soon as I got that call, I walked out. That's a fucking Star Wars fan. He loves Star Wars. Whether it was his favorite movie or not, that doesn't matter. Because Star Wars wasn't my favorite movie growing up. Lord of the Rings was. Just because I really, really fucking loved Gimli growing up. Now I like Aragorn more probably. But Gimli was fucking funny and awesome. And nobody tosses a dwarf. Alright, you'll have to toss me. Gimli's a badass. But still, when me and my friends would go out in the backyard, because none of us had fucking internet, we'd go out there, and it was just like, you know what? Fuck this stick fight. And you grab a stick, and you just start making a lightsaber, and you start swinging it at each other. And eventually somebody's parents come out, stop swinging sticks at each other, somebody's going to lose an eye. It's like, no, nobody's probably going to lose an eye, we'll be fine. They just go out in the backyard and start throwing stones at each other. You're like, force push! Yeah, it sounds kind of stupid now. But it's what you do when you're a fan. And the Reva, I think she said it was. She doesn't seem interested in Star Wars in the slightest. Like, She seems like, oh, you know, it's cool. I might get a Grogu shirt now and wear Baby Yoda around. But it's like, do you care though? Like, this is Star Wars. This is huge for a lot of people. Do you care about Star Wars? Or do you care about being, as she put it, bold and brave? Like, I didn't hear Ewan McGregor or I didn't hear Obi-Wan or Anakin say, I want to be bold and brave and I want to show the world what the Jedi can do. It's like, I love getting back to be my character. I love growing with him, and I love seeing what happened to him after the Revenge of the Sith. Which is a good question. I think there's like one or so book on Obi-Wan afterwards. I never read it, so this is just from hearsay, obviously. But I'm pretty sure he goes to Tatooine, you know, after Yoda tells him about Qui-Gon becoming one with the Force. So he learns to commune with the Force in a greater and deeper understanding to where he can commune with Qui-Gon. That way, that's what makes it so epic, is that he did all this training on himself. So when he meets Vader in Episode 4, and, you know, he holds his lightsaber up and they're battling, and then he just kind of sets it in front of him, and he goes, strike me down now, and I shall become more powerful than you could ever imagine. That's him saying, you strike me down now, and I will haunt you for the rest of your life through the Force. You will never be free of me. And then, I always thought, I was like, there's no way he just, you know, gets struck down right there. It's like he lets himself be struck down. He's ready. He's like, Luke can no longer move on if he thinks I am there to hold his hand. He needs to carry this on by himself. Whether the Jedi live or die is now in Luke's hands. And I always thought that was a really cool sentiment and moment. But Reva just doesn't seem to, like, she just doesn't fit in the Star Wars universe. That's just me, though. I might be, I probably am fucking just retarded, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Other than that, though, we'll see. We'll see in a week, I guess. Fucking peace out. Hope you enjoyed.